Hello everyone, I'm Tommy with StudioSense. What does Kanye West and a program designed to help with the 21st century's most caustic and challenging problems and fragrance have in common? We'll answer that question and more when we return, so stay tuned. Hey guys, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm featuring a fragrance that I picked up from a rack store a few days ago, and since Kanye West has been kind of incendiary in the press as of late, if you've kept up with the news on any level, you've likely seen some provocative headline about abortion, or him almost killing his daughter, or his between the lines cry for help in his tweets. But stepping away from all that chaos for a moment, the fragrance in question is named after both the program that created it and spawned it and continues, and it is called Whatever It Takes, which is kind of an unusual name for a fragrance. It's understandable for the program because you can imagine someone saying, what are we going to do to help our children? We're going to do whatever it takes to support them in their time of need. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Whatever it takes. That's a kind of a cool evoking the desire to help people and want specifically children. This particular program is slated towards or directed towards those that are in the arts, like the performing arts, musicians, poet laureates, Nobel Prize winners, actors, actresses, anyone who is a prominent figure in society that actually has money to give is in this program. And as you can see, I'm putting a little bit of a scrolling here so you can see some of the people that are actually involved. And in this particular case, this is Kanye West's. Now what Kanye West contributed was simply the artwork. By no means did Kanye create this fragrance. This fragrance is created as a result of a collaboration of several perfumists that put this together, and then Kanye said, here, you can have some of my art and I'll back this. In fact, there's a little paragraph of him on here. I'm delighted to give Trade Plus Aid Charity Regulation number 1061376 and its wholly owned subsidiary 21st Century Leaders this signed artwork for exclusive use in supporting Trade Plus Aid's charitable projects. I confirm that this is my original work. I'm happy to allow Trade Plus Aid and 21st Century Leaders to use my contribution and name to create products and associated promotional materials to raise money for charity through licensing revenue. I wish Trade Plus Aid and 21st Century Leaders the best of luck with the project. Signed, Kanye West. With your purchase of this Whatever It Takes product, you're helping 21st Century Leaders to tackle key global development causes. For more information, please visit www.whateverittakes.org. I did leave a link to that program down below. Now keep in mind, this is a 2000, this is like 20 years old program. It is still going on, but 90% or 100% of the outside links on their website do not work. So if you're gonna look at the artwork and things like that, you'll probably have no problem. But whenever you click on something that leads to an outside link, you're gonna get error 500. I did contact them and let them know. The core principle of the actual charity, it's still wholly subsidized. You can still donate through that website if you wish to donate. But today, what we're primarily interested in is taking a look at the fragrance itself. This was launched in 2013. This came out and went straight to video. You can get it for $9.99 at pretty much any rack store that has fragrances. Oddly enough, a fairly reputable website, Parfumo.net, ranked this a 9.0 out of 10, which is the highest I've ever seen them rate a fragrance. I don't know if that's a typo or if they actually intended to rate it that high. Yet the 6 people in Fragcom that took time out of their day at Fragrantica.com rated this a 3.0 out of 5. That's kind of a tepid or a lukewarm rating. Too bad this fragrance can't be rated from 2 different perspectives. The first is the presentation, the fragrance, and the performance, which is literally everything. But then of course there's the cause. Who does it benefit? Normally the money goes straight to somewhere splitting between the manufacturer and the perfumist and the owner of the IP. This has that cause, whatever it takes. I'm all about protecting this world's most valuable asset, and that is the children. Children that can't necessarily protect themselves or provide for themselves. So A+ for cause and benefit and program. There's not a lot of information about this fragrance other than the website itself. I believe, though, I saw a comment somewhere that this was going to be very Invictus-like, it's like an Invictus clone. However, let's go ahead and jump into that unboxing and check out that presentation. And there you have it, the presentation for Whatever It Takes, artwork donated by Kanye West. The artwork itself is from his The College Dropout album in 2004 was when that was released. And it has on it the iconic but now pretty much forgotten Dropout bear. Right here is what that is supposed to be. That's kind of like a stick figure Dropout bear. The Dropout bear kind of symbolized his pursuit of happiness and not living by societal standards, but living by his own standards, which is a really good message to infuse your mascot or icon or logo, as it were, with a meaning that is substantial and kind of meaty behind something like that. So just that alone is pretty cool in my book, and especially for children, it's a really nice ideology for them to learn. From the standpoint, again, the presentation is pretty cool. The top, the lid or cap, kind of gives the idea of bling Dropout Bear is wearing around his neck. It's kind of associated with that and the gold there, but it does feel relatively cheap. It's just super light, plasticky, and that's to be expected. The Atomizer itself is gold and also relatively cheap. It spits out a modicum amount of juice, not that wide of a spray. For all intents and purposes, you can tell that this is relatively cheaply made, but that's the expectation for a program that is charitable or is a benefit for someone else. They're gonna put as little as possible into making this because the money's used, they want it to go towards the charity and the benefit itself. So that's why that's the case. But I am curious about the juice and the quality, so let's go ahead and get into that juice. But before we do, let's talk a little bit about the note breakdown. And from the note breakdown, it sounds like it's just gonna be your average basic freshie or blue fragrance. In the top, you've got bergamot, lemon, and mandarin. In the mid, you've got elemi resin, you've got nutmeg and black currant. And it's resting on a base of patchouli and vanilla. So a little bit of sweetness likely gonna be in here, but basically just your blue freshie. Let's check out that juice. We've already primed it from the presentation. Well, as it turns out, it is very much Invictus-y. I've kind of grown out of Invictus. It's not necessarily a dated fragrance, it's just common. And I did wear it for a very long time. But when Invictus Aqua came out, I did kind of like the Invictus Aqua Flanker better than the OG Invictus. This reminds me of the OG Invictus. It does have that bubblegum sweetness to it, probably owing to the mixture of the nutmeg, the elemi resin, and black currant. Black currant has kind of a fruity, dark, sweet, in this case, bubblegummy flavor. A little bit curious about performance. Performance is probably going to be the biggest challenge facing this product here because it's not necessarily made to be a banger. It's more of a concept fragrance designed to get money from those who could afford to give to own something like this. Of course, Kanye being involved because target audience back in 2013 was primarily the young teenager. So let's try this out. On skin, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video for a few minutes to let that dry down so we can give it a kind of a dry down, give it a shot without automatically writing it off and assuming that the performance is gonna be poor. Be right back. All right guys, so that's been about 20 minutes and I did something interesting while you were away and I sprayed this arm with standard Invictus. And after it dried down, although it is a lot richer and projects more, it's almost identical in smell to the Kanye West version of Whatever It Takes. So there you have it. If you like Invictus, you'll likely like this. Performance-wise, this is going to be a little bit close to the skin. It'll project well probably in the first 45 minutes or so. I would say this is going to be a 2 to 3 to 4 hour fragrance at the most. Nobody's expecting a banger when it comes to a charity benefit. It would have been nice. It would have been nice, but that's not the case. But what can you expect for $9.99 at a rack store? I will say the presentation is a little bit utilitarian, but I like it for what it is. If you are a fan of Kanye or Kanye's older stuff, you might like the whole iconic Dropout Bear artwork. So something cool to have on your shelf just kind of as a conversation piece, not necessarily because the fragrance is awesome. Well, there you have it guys, my brief unboxing of Whatever It Takes, the Kanye West version of it. There are other versions out there, quite a few actually that are out there. This one is almost a clone of Invictus, I would say, or if they were asked, they would probably say inspired by Invictus. If you're interested in knowing more about Kanye West and what he's been up to these days, the May issue of GQ magazine has a really good article. If you're interested in knowing more about Kanye West, the May issue of GQ magazine has a really cool article about what he's been into, about what he's done with the land that he's purchased, all the things that he's building, kind of the concept or drawings architecturally as to what he wants to put on the land. So it's kind of an interesting read. Also, if you're a fan of Prada products, there are 2 samples in this one, Prada Lunarossa Black and Prada Lunarossa Carbon. So that's kind of cool. Reason enough for having the actual GQ magazine for the month of May. Well, that's it guys for my unboxing and review of Whatever It Takes, Kanye West version. Thanks so much for stopping by. As always, thank you so much for your support of my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you next time.